Hello everybody, I'm John, this is JP Strategic Investments, and today we're going to talk about Patriot One Technologies, just kind of an update on a lot of the things that we've gotten over the last week or so, a lot of major news, some updates on short interest, some posts from Peter's LinkedIn page, as well as a major announcement coming up, so just stick around till the end of the video for that. I think you guys will be excited for this. So first of all, short interest, as you see right now on the screen in front of me, we did have a major increase in short interest, as you can see, as of the end of February. Short interest increased by about 450,000 shares, or in other words, about 25% or so. So this is a pretty major increase in short interest. And so I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on what this means for the stock, in my opinion. And so for me, there's kind of a couple different ways that you can look at it. But I think overall, it's actually a positive for the stock. Now the one negative here, in my opinion, is, okay, if there is a large increase in short interest, there's obviously a large investor or a group of investors who think that the stock is significantly overvalued and they're willing to short the shares because they think the share price will drop. And in all fairness, the stock did go on a pretty huge run over the month of February. You can see here from basically the middle of February, which was right here. This is after the Inspector General. We have the middle of February right here. The stock went from 40 cents, almost doubled again all the way up until 71, 72 cents, right? And then by the end of February, the stock finished at around 60 cents a share, right? So this is a pretty huge increase, and it's not surprising that we had a lot of shorts jump into the stock after a move like that. But the positive thing here is that if short interest increased significantly, even when the stock dropped all the way down to around the 60-cent level here, that means that a lot of the selling in here was not done by long positions, by investors who are long on the stock. A lot of the selling here, with that huge increase in short interest, is shorts jumping into the stock, which is a good sign because it means that a lot of the longs are holding on to their position. They're not having, we don't have a lot of weak hands in the stock, it looks like, which is always a good sign. It means that investors who are long on the stock are really looking for a lot more from Patriot One. So that is a good sign there. The other good sign, or the other good side effect from an increase in short interest, especially a significant increase in short interest like that, is that it can dramatically increase upward movements as well, as shorts may have to cover after good news like an earnings report, like announcements about contracts and things like that. As long as good things continue to happen for the company, it's not going to be a good position for shorts to hold. And when they do cover their shares, they have to buy those shares back. And it can cause, what some would say a short squeeze. I don't think in this particular scenario there's really enough shares shorted for a short squeeze, but it can contribute a little bit to the upside when we get good news like earnings reports and contract announcements. So that is what kind of I wanted to say on the short position. Now I do want to talk about a couple of these LinkedIn posts that we got from Peter, because I think there were some really good points in those posts. So the first one here, we have Peter post, is there anything better than a fast, frictionless, and safe entry to your favorite concert? We clocked fans at greater than 3,000 people an hour and still caught prohibited items as small as 2 inches. That to me is really significant there, because I don't think we've seen, especially when we look at the NCS4 exercises, they did mention some issues with actually clocking fans at the fastest speed that they could because there just wasn't enough throughput at those locations. But even then, it did seem from the comments in the NCS4 operational exercises that as speed increased, it had a negative effect on the system's ability to actually catch threats. And so to see this, that they're clocking fans at 3,000 people an hour, which, by the way, is, I think, faster than any of the actual statistics that we've seen from Patriot One so far, and still catching those items at 2 inches, those really small items, really great to see that. Along with that, as we can see from the picture here, this is Petco Park. And personally, I'm really excited about this because I do live in Southern California in San Diego County, and so this will definitely be close enough for me to go and see. Hopefully they do end up doing a permanent installation here. It looks like this is just a pilot, but still great to see that more stadiums are checking this out, and especially not just NHL, NBA. We're moving now into MLB stadiums testing this out. This is just another good sign that Patriot One is continuing to get more and more attention. And the other post here, we're at the Penguins arena, so the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Peter poking a little fun at some of the metal detectors here, saying that the irony is that the lane on the left was previously labeled an express lane, when you see obviously there are a lot of people in line waiting to go through, whereas it looks like with the MSG lanes, they're pretty much just walking right through there. So a couple of great posts that we're seeing here, just more evidence that more and more stadiums and arenas are testing out Patriot One's product. Just a little anecdotal note on the side, if you guys did not see from my Twitter account, I also went to an Anaheim Ducks game recently, and in conversation with one of the security personnel, he did actually mention that they were planning on testing a new security product soon, planning on upgrading possibly next year. He didn't give any specifics, and I didn't press on that to just be respectful to the security personnel and the security of the arena. But either way, definitely good to see that more and more stadiums are thinking about upgrading, and a lot of them are probably going to go with Patriot One. And the last thing that I do want to mention here, the thing that I think a lot of you guys are going to be excited about, is I do have a tentative date now for another interview with Peter Evans. We're looking at next week. It's just a tentative date, so it could change. Peter is obviously really busy right now, which is a great thing for investors. But I am really excited for this next interview. I'm putting together a list of questions, but I would love to hear the questions that you guys have. I will do my best to kind of integrate as many of the questions that I can into the interview. So if you guys do have questions, which I'm sure a lot of you guys do, leave those down in the comments below. And if you like a question that somebody else puts in the comments, give that question a like, so I kind of have an idea of how many people like that question and things like that. But definitely leave those down in the comments below, and I will read through all of those. If I have any questions about specifics on those questions, I'll reply to those. But it should be a really exciting interview. Should give us a little more information about the company, what they're looking for going forward. And shout out to Peter. Thank you for being willing to sit down and do another interview. I really appreciate that, and I know all of you guys appreciate that as well. Other than that, as always, if you have any other questions about anything in the video, you can leave those down in the comments as well. And I will see you guys next time, and have a great day.